And we're learning more tonight about how significant provincial funding will be used for seniors' care in the border city. In their budget, the Alberta government included $6 million over the next 4 years for continuing care. Adam McVicker now on the plan ahead.
Since 1972, the Dr. Cooke Extended Care Centre has been the primary home for Lloydminster's aging seniors. Starting out as a 75-bed facility, things have changed over the years, with the city's ballooning seniors population. The Concerned Citizens for Seniors Care Society has been calling on the government for funding to complete upgrades on the closed south and central wings to function as an area for physiotherapy and social programs.
A place like that could, very easily function, for those type of uses, day programming, and that would take fairly minor, in our opinion, modifications.
Now the government has answered, but it's not what Clark and the Concerned Citizens were expecting. $6 million over 4 years, $3 million in 2017 alone. According to the Health Minister's office, the funding is for the demolition of the 1972 south and central wings of the Dr. Cooke.
It's not needed from the condition of the building. Like, the building isn't derelict, it's not falling in, it's aged.
Based on an assessment from the Concerned Citizens for Seniors Care, the main upgrades needed would be internal infrastructure to improve accessibility.
Changing doorknobs to handicap levered doors, changing the public washrooms over to, so increasing the stall sizes and doing some work so that they become accessible.
And according to a 2014 report by Clark, who is an engineer, the structure, interior, and mechanical aspects of the building are in acceptable condition, and retrofits could cost as much as $56,000.
So we're talking, substantially more. Trying to remember the dollar values, but I think that it's up in the $1 million in terms of demolishing it when it does have usable life still.
The Prairie North Health Region, which allocates government funding for the Dr. Cooke Extended Care Centre, would not comment when asked by Newcap News, but the Alberta government says there will be public engagement for further plans on the Dr. Cooke, but there's no word yet on when those will take place. The Concerned Citizens for Senior Care are planning to reach out to the government, and their message remains the same.
We would still be advocating that there is life in that building and that we should use it rather than leave it sit.
Adam McVicker, Newcap News.
Local daycare Footprints Family Centre will end operations next month, and the Lloydminster Catholic School Division is now in search for another daycare provider to take over the building. Chantal Germo reports.
Opening in 2013, Catholic Social Services and the Lloydminster Catholic School Division saw a need for a daycare centre in the area at the time.
We felt that there was all the ingredients for success with Footprints because it's located in a very family-oriented part of Lloydminster. It's got an incredible modern facility, and Lloydminster, our staff are very caring and dedicated. So we felt we had all the ingredients for success.
With the capacity of 72, Catholic Social Services could never really get much more than half the number of children needed to run their programs. They will cease operations April 15th of this year.
In the final analysis, we just had to make the choice that we tried for 3 years. We subsidized the program at a significant operational deficit, and we got to apply those funds to other programs and services that may have more of an immediate need.
The Catholic School Division opened submissions until March 30th for another daycare to operate in the Footprints building.
As soon as you walk in, it's got 2 offices, a fully furnished commercial kitchen, staff room at the back, some washrooms, a laundry room, and then it's got 3 rooms, one for infant, one for toddler, and one for preschool. Each one of those rooms has a door to the outside playground, fully fenced in as well as secure.
As for the children currently enrolled in Footprints, a question of where to go in the meantime has been a concern. But Garapi says that choosing a daycare includes many factors depending on the family's needs.
As an agency, we certainly didn't direct people to one alternative program or another. We simply wanted to give them enough time to do their own research and make that decision on their own.
Stelmaschuk adds that a list of families will be kept for those who want to stay in the area, when a new daycare begins its operations. Chantel Germo, Newcap News.
It was a sold-out crowd at the Vic Juba Theatre for a passionate and personal presentation from six-time Olympic medalist Clara Hughes. Her speech was part of a new initiative from the Lloydminster Health Foundation focusing on mental health in the community. Josh Ryan has more in this week's Healthy Living.
It's not every day an auditorium sells out an event discussing mental health, but that was exactly the case in Lloydminster as Clara Hughes shared her struggle with depression.
It affects us all in a different way, but there's also so many parallels and so many similarities that when you hear somebody else and what they've gone through, it makes you realize that you're not alone. And that's what I hope I can give by sharing my story.
Despite incredible athletic success, Hughes has battled the mental illness most of her life and has shared her story across the country, hoping to inspire others to open up about their experiences.
The face that I show, the smile that I have, I also show the other side. I show my sadness, I show my despair, I show my struggles. And I try in my best of ways to be real to people.
It gives support to our entire community because it's something mental health affects everyone, even Clara Hughes.
A major part of Hughes' focus has been on the direct connection of physical and mental well-being.
Life after sport has been all about forgetting about the higher, faster, stronger and really looking at physical activity as a major key component of wellness.
They're never in isolation of each other, and so being a healthier person in a healthier community was really a strong part of her message.
Hughes was impressed with the programs for mental health in Lloydminster, including the Health Foundation's Mindfulness Project.
It's an hour-long meditation 4 times a week for different groups.
If I lived in this town, I would go to that because it's an outlet to learn about yourself, to heal, and to also be with other people that will get it.
And while the reaction Hughes has received is tremendous, she says it's important to continue to promote awareness for mental health and help it get the funding and access it needs.
Really take a critical look at this before you need it, before you need to access it, because it needs to be better, provincially, territorially, and federally in terms of funding.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Well, those in the student-managed farm at Lakeland College will have a year of effort to come to fruition at their annual Beef Day in Vermilion tomorrow. The purebred and commercial livestock sale begins Friday at 4:30 p.m. And Brian Lentz has more on how it's about much more than just selling cattle.
These yearling bulls are receiving fresh bedding ahead of the big day when they will be auctioned off alongside commercial heifers. Lakeland instructor Leela Hickman says the sale is a close example of what students will experience in the industry.
The kids have been doing a lot of advertising through posters, social media, stuff like that. So it kind of gives them the full experience of what it'll be like to manage their own sale once they get out on their own and start in the industry.
Hickman adds she's taken a back seat for the students to plan the Beef Day.
They're in charge of all aspects of the sale, from setup to hiring to cleanup and the lunch, everything. So they've gone through and organized and done all of this. So this year, everything they do throughout the year really combines for the sale.
Aside from communications and marketing, students say one of the major skills they've gained from the process is working with people.
It's a huge part of this course is learning to work with other people and learn to try and manage different positions on the team and also manage the purebred herd itself. So you definitely gain a lot from it.
Mann comes from a farm herself and says she is excited to take the skills she's learned here back home.
Trying to manage my father's ways of farming, as well as working with my siblings, but definitely communication and networking within the industry. That's a huge thing that I've learned here, and I look forward to going home and putting that in place.
She adds her fellow students have become a family of their own, and she looks forward to working with them after graduation. Brian Lentz, Newcap News.
Well, Chief for a Day is coming back to Lloydminster, and the deadline is quickly approaching for students to get their submissions in. Now, students are asked to submit creative entries on emergency preparedness kits.
Tell us how they've created an emergency preparedness kit with their family and what they put in it, how they made it fun for the family, or if they already have an emergency preparedness kit at home, what they have in it and the importance of having that.
The contest will see 8 students in grades 4 to 6 getting to act as both a fire and police chief.
The police chiefs this year, they're going to get to do some forensic activities, which is pretty neat. The students really enjoyed that last year, so lifting fingerprints and that kind of stuff. And then the fire chiefs get to do some different relays, so with the rescue dummy and actually spraying water.
If you want to enter, email your submission to Charlene Robinson at crobinson@lloydminster.ca before 5 p.m. on Monday. And Winston Churchill School enjoyed a large turnout for the Happy Camper Book Fair this week. The event raised around $3,000, which will go towards the school library. Now, Vice Principal Les Korn says the focus of the fair is to instill a love for reading in every student.
The kids see the new books and they get so excited seeing new books in their hands, and then they go to their parents, oh, I want to read this with you. And of course, it encourages parents to read with them as well then. So the more books that we can put in children's hands, the better.
Korn says the students have enjoyed the fair and buying books over the last few days despite shifts in technology.
They usually have a lot of stuff, and sometimes they have some people come and be like Clifford or John Stelton.
Some people use their iPads for reading and that, but still kids like to have something in their hands all the time, and they love looking at the pictures, and you get them on a specific author that they really fell in love with. They want to see more and more of those books.
The school's second book fair is scheduled for the fall. About 105 horses in southwest Manitoba have been quarantined for the equine herpes virus, or EHV. The Manitoba Horse Council says 8 horses have died. In this week's agriculture report, Gerard Lampow tells us how a local vet is raising awareness.
The main ones that we are concerned about is equine herpes 1 and 4.
There are 5 alpha herpes viruses that are common in horses. It can start off with a runny nose and lead to neurologic illness and even death. The detection of horse herpes in southwestern Manitoba is concerning Dr. Michelle Colfus, who is alerting horse lovers in the Midwest region.
Equine herpes 1 is the main one we're concerned about, and that one has abortion. It can cause abortions in pregnant mares, as well cause some respiratory disease, can cause neonatal death in young foals, as well as cause the neurological form that I had mentioned before.
Sometimes horses can be carriers without developing any symptoms, or symptoms can develop within 7 to 10 days of exposure and be quite severe. Dr. Colfus says the neurologic form can progress quickly.
So the symptoms that we generally see for respiratory signs, so nasal discharge, sometimes we get some eye discharge, stuff from their eyes, as well as with the neurological form, we see a fever, and generally we see that kind of peak on day 1, and then it goes back down, fever comes back up on day 6 or 7.
The fever can range between 39 to 42 degrees Celsius. Other symptoms include loss of coordination of their hind end, limb weakness, urinary incontinence, and drooping head and lips. Dr. Colfus says vaccination is available, but not for the neurological type. Antibiotics will treat secondary bacteria. As it's a virus, like the cold, it will have to run its course, so treatment is supportive.
We want to put them on IV fluid therapy if they are not able to drink on their own or they aren't able to support themselves. Mostly anti-inflammatories, so help bring down some of that inflammation.
Dr. Colfus says if your horse should exhibit any of these symptoms, isolate the animal and call the hospital right away. Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Badminton season has started for high school students across the Midwest region, and the latest tournament took place yesterday at Bishop Lloyd Middle School. Lance Phillips was there to cover the Lancers' continued success.
Wednesday's nasty weather certainly didn't stop Bishop Lloyd from building on its 2 medals won in Kitscoty over the weekend. The school performed well at its own tournament, beginning with its single players. Charisse Campbell and Dylan Pollard both made gold medal semis, but came up short against some stiff competition. The two reflected after about their strengths on the court.
In my opinion, the stuff that I like to do is I like trying to smash and stuff. I'm not very good at it, but I like to try it.
I like that I can get the guy moving, but sometimes I need to work on getting the guy moving a bit more than I do.
Doubles play is where the Lancers really thrive. Their boys pair earned gold, defeating Holy Rosary. Considering the Lancers have multiple teams, it was a great start to the season for this squad.
Well, it felt actually really good being the first tournament. I think it's getting me going for the next few tournaments that are going to come up, and I think I'm ready for them too.
Yeah, same as Cameron was saying. Yeah, just playing together and getting a lot of courage, versing a lot of tough teams, and now we know what competition's coming up next.
The boys' gold was followed up with a silver medal from Bishop Lloyd's girls. And it's quite an accomplishment considering the amount of time the two have played together.
It was kind of scary because this is our first year doing badminton, so yeah.
It's a new experience, fun times.
The girls expected a last place finish, yet despite the lack of experience, the pair are thrilled at the choice to play the game.
My sister always played in high school and I just wanted to do that because it's fun.
I just like this sport.
In the last gold medal final, the Lancers mixed doubles team downed Holy Rosary in 3 sets, finishing the 3-medal day for Bishop Lloyd, a finish that many expect to continue.
I think we should just keep doing good. Like, we've been dominating in some tournaments, and so I think we can keep on rolling.
If we keep doing what we're doing, I think we're going to be pretty good.
Badminton's one thing that we're really well known for within the Northwest District when it comes to competitiveness. We want to field a competitive team. We want to win. We want to, send a message to the other teams. So, we didn't medal in every event, but it's also a good start to the season when you can medal out of 3 out of the 5.
The Bishop Lloyd Grade 9s can add to the 5 medals this weekend in Meadow Lake. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
With Red Dog season nearly here, it reminds us all of Rod Kirby and all he did for football in Lloydminster. The passing of the minor football president left a hole in the hearts of not only players and fans, but coaches as well. This season marks the first full one without Kirby, and now it's up to some old faces to carry on his legacy.
It's not easy. Rod was a very hands-on president, but I've been an executive for a number of years with him as well, so just to keep things rolling along as what the vision was, I think we'll be successful.
I can laugh and smile about it now. It was tough for me for a long time. I coached with Rod for, 13 seasons, and he's obviously coached with him, but he's also one of my best friends, so that was difficult. But we cherish the moments that we coach right now, and because we know he's with us on the field, and we can laugh and fun and pretend almost like he's here. And so we make sure his legacy keeps going.
Now this season, the Red Dogs logo has changed. The traditional dog head has been replaced with a singular R, an R that carries far more meaning than just the name of the midget team.
That's Red Dogs, and it's also in honor of Rod. He got this team going and was really a good friend to all of us and to the kids. So it's in honor of Rod, so we're pretty happy about that.